Hi there, everyone. A very happy Wednesday to you all. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on UpNorthLive Unscripted. I am Maya Engel, and let's start off with weather as we do most days. It's been another dry, hot one here in the middle of September. But Joe, you mentioned in our earlier newscast that some relief is on the way. We could see some rain soon.
Yeah, and as early as not tomorrow, but we will, I think, on Friday have the chance to see some showers coming in, maybe even a thunderstorm. Doesn't look like this is going to be a big cloudy all day rain, but at least there's some rain in the forecast because some areas will be going on by Friday, a week and a half, almost 2 weeks since we've had any rain.
Wow.
Which is quite a bit. So we'll talk more about that. It's been warm too. It does look like we're going to start cooling down a little bit too as we head into next week. No surprise, we'll be entering fall. We'll have much more on that coming up a little later.
Thank you, Joe. And let's start off with our top local story of the day, a potential expansion to Cherry Capital Airport in Traverse City. So today, Grand Traverse County commissioners were given notice of a special meeting with Leelanau County commissioners and the Northwest Regional Airport Authority. In the memo, Cherry Capital Airport CEO Kevin Klein says the NRAA believes it is time to expand the airport. So our reporter, Allie Baxter, spoke with Klein and has more on the rough drafts of what the expansion could look like.
Designed and handled about half the number of passengers are today. So at our very peak times of the year, the passenger experience is very crowded. And so we want to make sure we can adjust those and keep that small town feel.
A potential expansion could be coming to Cherry Capital Airport, but it's still too early to know what exactly that expansion could look like.
We're really at the beginning and it's very early in the process. And so, design concepts are coming forward, financial plan, it's all coming together. Very many things can change.
Ideas right now include 5 new gates, a bigger TSA checkpoint and baggage area, more restrooms, dining, and
we're looking to have information sessions with the public to get their feedback on the amenities and things that they want.
Klein says the total price tag could be up to $120 million. There's no plans to do a millage for it. Instead, Klein explains funding will be through bonds, grants, and governmental dollars.
If you use the airport, you'll pay for it through your taxes that are on those tickets.
An expansion of the airport has been talked about before. It was part of a master plan done in 2006.
Where we can go, what we need to do, how we can make those amenities stronger. And the best part about it is we can expand without impacting anybody else. We're going to look to expand to the east of the facility here, which was planned for in the original designs of this.
Are there any concerns with potentially expanding?
From the standpoint of the facility itself, there isn't. It's not really being expanded. So under the FAA world, it's not you build something to attract more service. You can only build things to handle the current volume of what's happening now. So we're building for today's volume. We're already seeing it. The impacts are already happening. We're now just building to accommodate that.
And our Allie Baxter is joining us live now from outside the airport still, Allie?
I am still outside the airport, and let me know if this wind kicks up a little bit and you can't hear me super well. I will hop back in the car.
All right, well, you sound good right now. So let's kind of start from the beginning of the story. And this is something that airport CEO Kevin Klein somewhat mentioned, but why is a potential expansion needed at Cherry Capital Airport?
Yeah, so this expansion has been talked about for a while, right, Maya? I feel like we've heard it a lot, especially when we get to some of our really busy summer months, too. I feel like we always hear this idea of, hey, we really need an expansion because, like Kevin was saying, it gets really crowded in the terminal. And so especially, it may not seem like it to those of us who live in northern Michigan and we're traveling maybe during some of the off season, during fall and winter, because we can get through the airport, through TSA really quickly. But during these summer months when we're seeing so many more flights, that's why they're needing to do, that's just one reason that they're needing to do this expansion. And not just for, here's more gates that we can send more flights to, but as was said in the story, it could be even more like expansion as terms of like parking. It could be expansion of TSA as well. If you use Cherry Capital Airport, there's kind of just those 2 lanes right there, like one for pre-check, one for not pre-check. And so that can get really busy when you have a bunch of flights in the summer going out at one time. So that's another thing that Kevin was telling me that could see some expansion. Dining as well. And so all those things, he says he wants obviously to keep the small town charm of Cherry Capital Airport. I think that's what everyone here in Northern Michigan loves about it, is the ease of being able to come to Cherry Capital Airport. But when it does get a little bit busier, they want to be able to have, some fallbacks in place of make sure people have a little bit more elbow room.
And it does seem like every couple months we get a press release from the airport saying they've added a seasonal flight or a year-round direct flight. And it does seem like Traverse City is getting more attention, but it is still somewhat of a hidden gem for folks. So I'm sure once more people will start to discover the beauty of not just Traverse City, but all of Northern Michigan, then we're going to start to see even more people coming through the airport.
Exactly. And we already have so many people coming and using the airport right now. That's what I thought was interesting that Kevin shared with me right there at the end of the story is, well, are you concerned about any part of an expansion? And he said, not really, because we're not expanding so that more airlines come here. We're expanding to handle the traffic that we already have here. So 5 gates, it's just not cutting it for us right now. We potentially during the summer months, it'd be nice to have a 6th or a 7th gate as well.
So what are the next steps for this plan?
Yeah, so the next steps for the plan, since the NRAA is governed by Grand Traverse County, Leelanau County, they need their approval before they go seek funding for a bond type of situation. So really what happened today is they let Grand Traverse County Board of Commissioners know that, hey, we intend to have a meeting. We want the Grand Traverse County Board of Commissioners and we want the Leelanau County Board as well to come together, and we want to be able to present a plan that we want to expand the airport. We don't know in all the different ways that an expansion could take place yet, but we do want to first reach out and ask for permission to be able to do the funding in that way. So that meeting is coming up on October 14th.
And then in your story, Kevin did mention that they're very interested in hearing feedback from the public about what they would potentially want in an expansion. How can the public give their opinions?
I think we'll know a little bit more down the road how they plan to do that. Kevin did tell me they're going to have informational sessions, and I think that's only one way that they're thinking about being able to interact with the public. I'm sure that there will be other ways. I mean, there will probably be surveys and stuff like that. I'm sure we'll be working with the airport a little bit down the road as well about ways that you can reach out to the airport and let them know what you would like to see in a potential expansion. I think when we hear expansion, we automatically think more gates, more like development of the airport, but a lot of times as well. I mean, I think forgot to mention earlier, the baggage claim area and the baggage area, that's another place where they said, hey, we'd like to expand this. Everyone's really crowded around there from all these flights that are coming in. We could use a little bit more baggage carousels. So they are going to be reaching out to the public. They said, we have some ideas of what we want to see in an expansion, but we want to know what our community who actually uses this airport wants to see as well. I know if you've talked to our assistant news director Roxanne, she is always saying that she would love to see covered parking in some of the long-term parking that we have, especially in the winter months when maybe you hop on a flight to Florida and come back, and then all of a sudden you have like a foot of snow on your car. So it's things like that they're looking for.
Right. So, Allie, I'm going to pull up our question of the day today, which is related to your story. It's, would you support expanding Cherry Capital Airport? Right now, 71% say yes, 29% say no. And we posted this on our Facebook page, and we have about 88 comments. And one thing a lot of people are saying is, for example, Michelle says, I support it, but on a different parcel. Someone else said they need to move the whole airport to an open area with more room. So it seems like that's a big concern for a lot of people who are commenting on our posts, is that space just doesn't have enough room to expand. Did Kevin touch on that at all?
Yeah, that was something that I did ask Kevin about, and that was kind of in part of the question of, is there any concern with expansion? And another piece of that he'd explained to me was, we've actually always been planning to expand in this way. We just haven't really acted on it. And we do have the room to be able to expand without impeding on some of these areas as well. And I believe he was saying they're going to expand. I wonder if I can flip the camera here. All right, so I'm currently in the cell phone lot right now, and I know the sun is really bright, but if you see over there, those are some of the gates and the terminals. And so the plan is to expand out this direction. So I'm looking west right now, but the plan is to expand east over this direction. And so he was saying that would hopefully be the plan, is to expand out this way to the east, and it's already area that they do have able to develop. So it's not going to be taking other private property away from people. This is already an area that they've had plans for since I want to say 2006. It's as part of their master plan of, hey, one day if we ever get the kind of traffic to expand, this is what it could look like. So they have made plans for this before.
And this plan is in the very beginning stages. So
Yes.
do we even have any sort of timeline of if everything gets approved, when we could see these expansions begin?
Yeah, we have a little bit of a rough timeline today. If all goes well, if there is support from Grand Traverse and Leelanau County boards, Kevin was telling me that hopefully they can get those shovels in the ground sometime in 2026. It wasn't any more specific than that, where, fall, winter, spring 2026, but he did give me a date of hopefully we're starting something in 2026 if we can.
Anything else you want to mention about your story, Allie?
Yeah, I would just say, and I think you and I have both touched on this as well, this is super duper early. No plans are set in stone yet. As far as an expansion, obviously there are ideas of what they want to do. They maybe want to add 5 more gates, but as Kevin was telling me earlier, hey, maybe we'll just add 2 more gates, or maybe we'll add 3 more gates. Everything is super flexible, and they want the community's feedback on this as well. So that's what I would say. Like, nothing is set in stone. I think it's really easy to kind of look at the expansion, like rough draft, and say, well, this is what they're going to do. And as Kevin explained to me today, we are still so early in the process. There's still so much that we want to look at because, hey, maybe we decide we don't want to expand baggage claim, but we will expand TSA security checkpoints.
And of course, we will keep our viewers updated on any updates that come with this expansion plan. So, Allie, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And again, our question today is, would you support expanding Cherry Capital Airport? If you haven't voted yet, you can scan that QR code on your screen right now. I am going to take our question of the day down, but I'll put it up again a little later. But we have a fun story to show you before we take our first commercial break. So we've been doing this series with our sister stations called Exploring Michigan. And today we have a fun one. So from warlocks to witches and wizards, they're all coming together to Holly for the 45th annual Michigan Renaissance Festival. It brings thousands of people from all over the country to the area to dress up and just have a little bit of fun. So reporter Kyle Macon was at the festival, and he has much more on what you can expect.
To enjoy your day here at the Michigan Renaissance Festival!
Are you looking to take a trip to the past? Then the Michigan Renaissance Festival may be for you. You'll be able to walk through a 16th century European village called the Holly Grove, and you'll get to meet some interesting characters along the way.
I am known by my people as the Queen Cassandra of the House Scudamore, and it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
While at the festival, you'll have the opportunity to solve a quest. This year, the story is the kingdom is bankrupt after the queen gave all the money away in a pyramid scheme.
You know my reaction, all right? Just because maybe you told a bunch of lies before, or you got into lots of fights before, suddenly everyone thinks that you're responsible. Let me tell you something. Everyone's always asking, what's King Fandon done now? But no one ever asks, how's King Fandon done now?
To find out who's behind the pyramid scheme, you'll have to solve a variety of puzzles. While you're on your journey, you'll be able to see dances, live jousting, and some incredible costumes. But all in all, the festival is about bringing a group of like-minded people together for a good time.
Coming in, super anxious about, okay, I'm wearing this costume. Are other people going to wear costumes? The minute you walk in, whether or not you're wearing a costume, you're immediately like, okay, we're all like a big group of fun here. Doesn't matter what you're wearing, what you look like, what you got going on. We're together.
If you want to see live jousting and eat as many turkey legs as possible, the Renaissance Festival will be going on until September 29th. Reporting in Holly, Kyle Macon.
Well, doesn't that look fun? Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we'll check back in with Joe for more on your forecast in a few minutes. Welcome back. Let's also welcome back our meteorologist, Joe Charlevoix, into the conversation. Hi, Joe.
Hi, I've been hanging out in here just waiting for the weather segment.
Now is your time to shine.
Yeah, we'll see. You and I saw last night the partial eclipse, a little bit of it anyway.
Yeah.
And so I want to start with that. By the way, Maya, when is our next lunar eclipse?
March 14th of 2025.
Yes, good job. And that'll be a total lunar eclipse. So that'll be kind of a bigger one next March. But this is what it looked like last night. So this was taken by Jerry Dobeck. He's an astronomer at Northwestern Michigan College in Traverse City. This is from the observatory there. And you see the shadow. It wasn't, covering much of the moon, but we did have a little bit of that partial eclipse last night. Here's what it looks like today. A beautiful day. We had our UpNorthLive Sky View drone out. Dan, our drone operator out there, busy today, looking over Grand Traverse Bay. This is from right near downtown Traverse City. That boat kind of has everything to themselves right there. Maya, you pointed this out. You were watching this earlier, how dry it is. Look at the grass there. That's in Traverse City. Yeah, we definitely could use a little bit of rain, and it was another warm day out there. We had many spots well into the mid-80s in our warmest locations. Traverse City, 85. We had 83 at Pellston. Even Newberry got in the 80s today at 81. But the long-range trend will stay pretty warm through Sunday, upper 70s and lower 80s. But then after that, notice next week, we start cooling back down, and that's a bit more where we should be this time of the year. Again, these are just the baseline averages, but that's what we're looking at. Around the rest of the country tonight, low pressure spinning away, way up here in parts of Montana tonight. You can see that there with some rain. There's a front that extends off of that right down and through here. And that frontal boundary will gradually approach northern Michigan as we move forward into Friday. Now, in the meantime, we will get one more dry day in tomorrow. There's tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Lots of sunshine, pleasant. But as we get into Friday, look at these storms that go up near Minneapolis and then trek across Wisconsin. This is tomorrow night, Thursday night. And some of these probably will hold together into our area Friday morning as this front approaches. And then a few, scattered showers and storms are a possibility Friday. So that is the next chance for some rain. Overnight tonight, one more thing, we're going to get some fog. That's what it looks like by tomorrow morning. So just know that some fog may develop. And then as we look beyond the weekend or beyond, Friday and Saturday, pretty quiet Sunday. That's the first day of fall, by the way. And then low pressure will kind of close off and trek up from the, central part of the country. Late showers on Monday, and then the chance for some rain Tuesday, maybe carrying over into Wednesday. So certainly that potential for some rain there. Here's our extended forecast. A few showers, maybe a thunderstorm on Friday. Fog early Saturday. At this point, the weekend does look pretty quiet. And with clouds and that chance for a little rain moving in next week, we do cool back down. We're looking at temperatures back down into the 60s with that chance for some rain. So we've had a long dry stretch, Maya. It looks like that's going to change now as we head, into next week. Some changes coming in.
And we are certainly due for some changes.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Joe. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we will check in with sports director Harrison Beebe to see what he is working on in the sports world today. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Let's turn things over to Harrison to get us caught up on everything happening in the sports world. Hi, Harrison.
Yeah, I just saw, did you know this? The Lions have 6 players in the top 50 for NFL jersey sales, and they have 3 in the top 8.
Wow. Amon-Ra St. Brown
Is number 4.
Aiden Hutchinson
Is number 3.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is not in the top 10, no.
Oh,
Young.
Williams. Jameson Williams.
No, James Williams not in that list. Jameer Gibbs is 8th on that
That was
list.
my next guess.
Goff, Penei Sewell, and I have the article right here. Laporta, obviously, are top 50. So if that's any evidence that Lions football is back, I don't know what it is. People are buying those jerseys.
There we go. Hopefully that'll translate to some more wins.
You would hope so. It's making money, though, at the very least. Speaking of making money, speaking of making waves here in northern Michigan, the Red Wings back in town. You can hear the Zamboni running at center ice extra loud because the Prospects games took place last weekend. This is footage from the Wings and Dallas Stars Prospects have played 2 games. The Wings won both of those games at center ice. And main training camp gets started tomorrow. The guys hit the ice at 8 a.m. We'll be there tomorrow to catch the first day of camp and see what kind of some of the storylines are for the season. Obviously, kind of like the Tigers right now, the Red Wings gave us a lot of excitement down the stretch of last season. They tied Washington for the points in the NHL wildcard race, but Washington had the tiebreaker, so that put them in the playoffs and the Red Wings not. So, Steve Yzerman's been asked, hey, is this another year where you guys feel like you have to make the playoffs? He's still preaching the development and the improvement of all his players top to bottom as his top priority, but I think everybody would admit, hey, we want these guys to put a serious push into the playoff race for the Stanley Cup playoff race. Not necessarily a Stanley Cup, but just like the Tigers right now, really make an effort to get in that 16-team field come next spring.
Thanks so much, Harrison, for that sports update. We're going to take another quick break, but we'll be right back in a few minutes. Let's take one last look at the live results for our question of the day. Would you support expanding Cherry Capital Airport? As of right now, 71% of voters say yes, whereas 29% say no. As always, you can scan that QR code on your screen to vote. You can also go to our website, UpNorthLive.com. And in case you missed it, our reporter, Allie Baxter, did a whole story on potential plans to expand the airport, but it's still in the very beginning stages, so nothing set in stone just yet. But we will keep you updated on that story. That'll do it for Up North Live Unscripted at 6:30. Thanks so much for joining us. Take care, everyone.